No, welcome back to the Underdog Jets Podcast. As me and Wayne were just chatting beforehand about Mike White's gutsy performance, he didn't get up just once; he got up twice. And I'll tell you, folks, number 80 knows a thing or two about that. Wayne, what did you think?
Oh, it was a tough loss, obviously, but we found out who our quarterback was. Like you said, man, the beating he took, leaving the game once, twice, and coming back, you could see after the game, how the other players were inspired by him. Saying he's a soldier, they go to war with him any day. So tough game on the road in a tough environment, but they played as hard as they could.
Yeah, it was a strange game in a lot of ways. It slow going offensively, and then the first crack was that Mosley jumping offsides. 4th and 1, great play by Buffalo and Dorsey to draw that up with the tight end. I don't think they were going to snap it, but to say for 100% certainty they weren't going to, I don't think is correct. What did you see on that one where Mosley did the Troy Polamalu and jumped over the center?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, he's a vet, makes a ton of plays. He just tried to make a big play. The gimmick they ran with the tight end under center, I could see how it fooled them a little bit. But on their own 35-40, I didn't think there was any way they're going to snap it. So it's tough because they went right down and scored after that. Otherwise they played 29 great minutes. And that last minute kind of killed them. But like I said, he's made a ton of great plays, so I can't blame him.
Yeah. Any other takeaways? I mean, the defense was solid, but yet again couldn't create turnovers. It's been a stretch now of 3 or 4 games where they haven't created turnovers. That Sauce played well, I thought. They limited Josh Allen in a lot of ways. I mean, he broke their backs on that one scramble, but aside from that, didn't do much. Was off, inaccurate. Weather was nasty.
Yeah. More than that one run. I mean, it's 5 times he escaped out of the pocket, and the one was 3rd and 15 and 3rd and 10. I mean, he's tough to stop. He's tough to bring down. He's hurdling guys. So he's one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, and always gives them a chance to win. But just missed him. I don't know if Quinnen going out of the game hurt him with that inside push. But he's a great quarterback, and that's a tough place to play, especially in that weather.
And the other thing is Zonovan Knight. With this kid, I mean, how good is this kid? To me, his best talent is his hidden yardage. When he's supposed to lose 3 yards, he gets to the line of scrimmage. When he's supposed to gain 3, he gets 6 or 7. I mean, this guy's incredible out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's a good find by Joe Douglas and company. I guess he went to NC State, had a good career, but it's just about people being hurt, people filling in and getting opportunities, and he's certainly taking advantage of that. And now with Michael Carter with that bad fumble, I think Knight will get even more carries than he did this week.
I'll tell you what, the momentum, it felt like the Minnesota game where you're in the 4th quarter, they're doing everything right, and you look at the time and you're like, man, Mike White comes out of the locker room like Willis Reed. I think Romo mentioned the Karate Kid. What was his name? Daniel something. I forget.
Daniel LaRusso. I heard him.
LaRusso. That's right. How can I forget the Karate Kid's last name? What's wrong with me? But he comes out of the tunnel like Willis Reed, and everything is going right. And I'll tell you what, that Michael Carter fumble was just a killer because I felt like the momentum, what he was given to his team, everyone was just going balls out, and they would have given anything to win the game. So that was an unfortunate fumble.
Yeah, that's tough. Flacco coming in for, a fumble and then a terrible throw doesn't help. And then you can go back and say, should Zach be QB2 or not activated? Is he going to play if they're out of the playoffs? So, whatever they want to do, they know what they're doing. But I don't know. It's tough to say, on Monday, what we should have done. But hopefully Mike White's back and he has no problems this week.
Would you dress Wilson as the number 2 for this Sunday against Detroit?
I guess you have to. I mean, Flacco's kind of useless out there, you know? I mean, he's
Yeah.
had a great career and stuff, but he's so stiff, he can't move. That's a great run by Knight.
It's very tough to come in, especially when you're older. And it's a different league. George Blanda could do it 30, 40 years ago because
Mhm.
it was a different league. You stand in the pocket, you make throws, but I would have Zach Wilson dressed. I mean, that would have been a perfect spot for him where there's no expectations and he can just let it rip.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. Zach Wilson, number 2. Here's Bam. One of the great nicknames, I guess, is a Power McGovern. Polls like Kevin Mawai, your old teammate back in the day.
Yeah. I noticed that during the game. Yeah, this kid's special. Like I said, just this is when you have a chance to play. Brees going out, Michael Carter fumbling, and he's making a name for himself.
I mean, look at the
You said he had a good preseason too, right?
Yeah, I loved him in the preseason, and it was tough with all the numbers at running back. I kept saying I thought he had a chance to make the team. He ultimately made the practice squad. But hey, they made the right choice right there.
And James Robinson's, healthy and active, so
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player, but this kid has more breakaway, potential. So yeah, back to the whole Mike White thing. I was thinking some of the shots he took, he got up and in the gut. In a cold day like that, you could see he was in pain. So I just wanted to give him kudos one more time that he showed me a lot. I think he showed his teammates a lot. I think he showed the fans a lot. So I'm just happy for him. I know, the record's not great compared to Zach and whatever, but definitely, looks like his job to lose.
Yeah, here's I think this is either the first or second shot he took. I mean, decent protection at first, and he makes the play too, which is absurd.
Yeah, he got folded up.
I mean, and then when he came back, he hit that out along the sideline, which was just a perfect anticipation. Oh my God. I mean, that's a brutal, brutal hit. I don't care who you are.
Can we get a roughing the passer like these crap calls that other quarterbacks are getting with it just a normal hit and they're not even landing on them hard?
No, and Garrett Wilson got popped out of bounds too by Poyer on that one play.
Yeah, that was way out of bounds. So, but he made some throws. Man. And, Corey Davis going down was another thing. He had a great catch early on, and then Quinnen. So the injuries are piling up, but like I said, the defense was in it. Like I said, they didn't get any turnovers, but they brought some pressure on Josh Allen, and like I said, he just escaped a couple times. They could have been big negative plays.
Yeah, you really got to hope Quinnen's okay. They got lucky. It didn't look good on the broadcast because it was non-contact, but seems to be a calf, and they're sort of optimistic as of right now that he could play Sunday. And Mike White's in the same boat, so they're really going to need him because Wayne, Detroit, look at what they've done. I mean, they're climbing in the wild card race. The Giants better watch out.
Yeah, we're looking over the schedule a couple weeks ago and thinking, all right, Detroit, Jacksonville should be wins. And then Jacksonville's beating teams, beat the Ravens. And Lions are scoring 30, 40 a week. So I'm interested to see how our defense stacks up against them. But yeah, Dan Campbell, he's got a motor, man. They're flying around. They're having fun. It's kind of like us against the world kind of thing. So it's no cakewalk this week.
No,
it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be nasty, and they're gonna have to play their hardest.
You got Detroit, then the Jags, and those are really the two games. They got to win these next two before the last two games of the season.
There's no chance. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being 7-6 now, it's frustrating as Jets fans because you finally have a season, and you didn't expect 7-6 after the start, but there are mitigating circumstances here, and all in all, I think it's a pretty good spot.
Yeah, we're still there in playoff contention. Patriots winning last night hurt.
Yeah,
with them having the tiebreaker against us. But at this point, we kind of control our own destiny. If we win, we make the playoffs. We're not going to be scoreboard watching. So these next 2 weeks, you got to get to 9 wins and then make something happen out in Seattle, who slow down a little bit, and then at Miami, could be the game of the year. I might go out there for that one to see to see that.
Yeah, in Miami too. I mean, here's the first play Mike White returned to the game after getting just his ribs smashed up, basically. 4-man rush, anticipation, just drops it right in there. I mean,
Yeah,
it
that
doesn't
throw
get
in
better
that
than that.
weather under those conditions outside of the numbers, that is a pro quarterback throw. That's not a lot of guys can make that throw.
No, it's absurd. I mean, when he decides to make the throw too, right now, I mean, even before that point,
Yeah,
the break didn't even happen yet. So it's right now, like the head's not turned. It's just a beautiful play.
who's that?
And
Garrett?
yeah, I think that
Was
was
that
Garrett.
Elijah?
Yeah, it was Garrett.
Yeah,
And
he's special. He's
he
special.
is special. And I heard you said it before. You'd think Mike White, did you say franchise guy?
No, I didn't say he's a franchise. Oh, Garrett?
No, Mike White.
No, I'm saying I
Rest
don't
of
know
the
if he's our franchise quarterback,
rest
but
of the season.
it's his job to lose.
Yes, I agree. Rest of the season is his, basically. Um,
You can't give him the throne after 4 games, 5 games.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. And that's the thing that a lot of people are trying to guard against, but you just see it left and right in social media. Like fans just want their guy and to go forward. And that cannot be the attitude.
Yeah. Listen, we're happy to have him. We're happy to what he's doing. He's got to prove it for a lot more than 4 or 5 games. But if he leads his team to the playoffs, he will be coming into training camp next year as a starter, I believe.
Kingston says we're better off having Shane Falco instead of Joe Flacco. A call out from the Replacements, the Keanu Reeves football movie. I mean,
Yeah.
Falco was solid in the movie. He had some skills.
In the movie?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. Well, wasn't he Johnny Utah in
Johnny Utah.
2022?
Tore his knee up at Ohio State was the backstory, I think. Yeah.
Playing touch football, tackle football on the beach with Patrick Swayze. So listen, like I said, when Flacco went in, I don't want to hammer the guy about it, but it's just stiff. He's just standing there, and at that point, you wish Zach can come in the game, but maybe at this point, because of that, they make Zach activate him this week, and I'm glad they're coming home. I used to say they're better on the road as Road Warriors, but I think the crowd's going to be behind them. I know what's at stake this week. I certainly think they have a great chance to win this one and the next 2.
AC says Mike White showed some grit that I haven't seen since Wayne. Thanks for the comment, AC. There's been some gritty guys, but this is the perfect man to speak to about broken ribs. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I got laid out a couple times, but some people are at the podium and he's getting checked at the hospital for internal injuries. Like you said, guys spoke out, said he's a soldier. They'd go to war with him anytime, and they love him. And I never saw that love for Zach Wilson last year or this year from defense or offensive players. Not like that. So this is the guy they want back there.
It's obvious and it's plain as day. And I think most people can relate to getting the wind knocked out of you, right? Where it's one of the worst feelings you could ever have, where you're gasping for air and you don't know what the hell's going on. Times that by 100 in terms of what Mike White felt on Sunday. And NFL football players know it better than anybody, me, people listening, all of us included. So there's a lot of respect there, and you could just see it with the confidence, with the moxiness, with his marbles, as the title is headlined. He's got gigantic marbles, and he puts it on the line, and Zach's just not there yet. And, all the Zach Wilson truthers, as I like to call them, we're still battling for Zach Wilson to get on the field. Listen, I'm a fan of Zach Wilson, but if you're arguing for that today, right now, you don't know what the hell you're looking at.
Well, here's the thing. Zach wouldn't take a hit like that because Zach would have been gone. As soon as he saw that guy coming, he would have reversed field. He either got sacked for 12, 15 yards or somehow escaped and thrown it out of bounds. And this guy stepped in the pocket, knew it was coming. So you got to appreciate that. I'm not saying Zach's not a tough kid, but he got happy feet back there. He sees pressure coming. He bails.
No, and it's a thing of balance. Being gone, breaking the pocket left and right, it's fine. That's all well and good, but it can't be 100% of your escapability. You have to be able to step up in the pocket sometimes and know you're gonna take the hit. And do I think Wilson can do it eventually? Yes, but he hasn't yet. And yet on the other side of the coin, Will White's gonna have to start protecting himself a little better too. There comes a point in time where he has to. Yeah, you want to step into the throw, take the hit, but there's the difference between exposing yourself 100% and maybe 50%. And the Jets fans don't want to see him get injured again for sure.
Yeah. Well, another thing I was saying about stepping in the pocket, you can't complete a pass outside the numbers, especially in that condition if you're not stepping into your throws. But yeah, I don't know if they announced the offense or the defense, but if they announce the starting lineup for the offense, he's gonna get a big cheer from that home crowd.
Huge cheer. I mean, Jets fans are lunch pail old school guys. Love Wayne Corbett, John Starks, all those types. Mike White's fitting in that mold as we speak.
What kind of comments we got here?
John Hepburn says Michael Carter should have a Leon Washington type role, so more of a third down back, pass catching back, rather than being a featured back. And it was kind of like that in Buffalo. He wasn't the featured back. Zonovan was. I just think they started rotating later in the game.
Doesn't matter. He can fumble on first, second, or third down. You know what I mean?
Or as a kickoff return man.
It's not saying he has a history of it, but at this point, he has to go out there and redeem himself this week. But he's a good player. He's a good young player. I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yep. AC says, thank you, Wayne. BS calls against us. Obvious calls for us never happen, referring to no roughing the passers, the late hit on Garrett Wilson. I try to guard against that, but I agree. The last couple games have been a little rough.
Yeah, but I see these calls. I don't watch the games, but I see, social media, and I'm looking at these plays, and I'm like, dude, it's a normal play. It's like he hit him too hard. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing dirty, no spearing, no hit to the head, no going at the ankles. It's just like, what is going on? Like, can we get some calls like that?
The Whitehead hit in Minnesota, I think it was.
Crazy.
He just hit him. He hit him with his shoulder. And he actually tweeted something the other day, like throwing his hands up, asking the league, what do you want us to do? Are we allowed to play football?
We got Micro Fox here. If Mike White comes back Sunday, you got to expect the team to be inspired. Do you envision the Jets winning their remaining games? I don't know. I think the next two they can get. I think at Seattle is a tough place to play.
Yeah.
But they're used to the weather they're going to get out there. I think they can beat them. And then Miami, if it's all at stake down there, we showed we can beat them. I don't know what situation, if they're going to be playing for a home game or we're battling them for a playoff spot. I think they're all winnable. Are we going to get them all? Well, hopefully we can at least get 3 out of the 4. I'm not sure which 3, but 3 out of the 4.
Yeah, and Miami's schedule, they're in Buffalo this weekend. So it's going to be cold. I think it's going to be snowy. I saw a report.
Yeah.
Then they're home against Green Bay, at New England, another cold game, and then home against the Jets. So, when you compare the two schedules, I know the Lions and Jags are playing well, but Jets have a more favorable schedule, I would say.
They're still the Lions and the Jags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very impressive, the Lions and how they're playing. And they just got that Williams kid back, the receiver. His first catch of the year went for 50 yards. If you draft a kid, you're coming off an ACL injury and he's not ready till week 11, he's a good player.
Yeah, Jameson,
Amari St. Brown, Swift, Jamal Williams, they're stacked.
And their old line is great too.
Defense. They give up a lot of points, so we're gonna have to put some points on the board.
Yeah, Mike White. I mean, hopefully he's healthy because it should be a high scoring game, even at MetLife. It should be a high scoring game. But Eagle Fang says playoff start now for the Jets. Absolutely. Twisted says. Yeah, I agree. He's responding to someone. Maybe that's why MLF Mike LaFleur gets silly on 3rd and short because of the offensive line. John Hepburn said the offensive line has been walking wounded since day one, and that's true. And Mike LaFleur has taken a lot of criticism in terms of getting too cute with screens and being predictable with his play calling. Wayne, have you seen anything with the offensive play calling? Anything that's troubled you or no?
Well, The big thing is, maybe the play calling, isn't great. It's not bad, but just situational. We are great between the 20s, but once we
Mhm.
get in the red zone, we're non-existent. We are the worst in the league, and you're not going to win with field goals. You're not going to win this time of year, and they got to put the ball in the end zone. I'm not sure what they got to do, but in Minnesota that was a problem too. So they got to change it up. I don't know. I think they need to get the tight ends more involved. When people ask me what the best pickups were during the offseason, one of the things I kept saying was with
Tight end.
Conklin and Azuma, these are great red zone guys, and they're not using them at all.
That's a big difference between White and Wilson, right? Wilson used Conklin a lot more than White does.
Yeah, you could see it, and Conklin's got good hands, but yeah, they just have to design plays for that. And we talked about it last week. Some of these rub plays that other teams are running, where guys are
Mhm.
just naked in the end zone after the guy gets picked off. So just I don't know what they have to do, but they can't do what they're doing right now.
Yeah, look at this. Eagle Fang, good point. Eagle Fang. Wayne, say hello to Aaron Glenn this week, Lions defensive coordinator. So Aaron Glenn with the homecoming this weekend.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. Certainly one of the best guys I played against, in practice all those years. And he's doing well for himself as a coach. And certainly I can see him being a head coach one of these days.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up in the next 5 minutes or so. So get your final questions and comments in. And, thinking about the Jets, think about all these losses they've had. Other than the Ravens game and the Cincy game, have they really gotten blown out in any of the games? I mean, even the last two, there were moments in the fourth quarter, in the second half against Minnesota and then Buffalo, fourth quarter, where you really felt the momentum was switching and they were clawing their way back. Even with injuries, and that's a sign that it's a talented team that's coming together. So even though fans have a right to feel a little down right now, I think that shines through that this team is really good and it's going to put a really good foot forward the next 4 weeks.
Yeah, in the fourth quarter, game's been in reach. I mean, had the ball with a chance to tie, had the ball with a chance to win. So they're in it. The defense is keeping them in it. But we're not out of it. It's not like a halftime, beginning of third quarter, and you're thinking about what time should I leave so I can beat the traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that they just need to get going early, get ahead. This way they can kind of run the ball if they need to, but you can't get in a shootout with Detroit.
No. Rob Lines asks, does Bam get more than 20 carries Sunday? It's tough
Why
to
not?
think 20 because they rotate, but I would love it. I mean, absolutely. Give him the ball as much as possible.
You got to go with the hot hand, and right now he has it. Has he caught many passes out of the backfield? He's just
not yet. I mean, I think most of them have been screens, if any.
Yeah. So, I'm not, I don't know if he could run, arrow routes and up seams and stuff like that, but you don't need him to. He's running over people, breaking tackles. So, looking forward to a big game this week. I will be there. I will be cheering. So excited. I know, don't be upset, Jeff fans. These last two games were reverse 10-win teams. So, not saying we couldn't have won them, but we were big underdogs. We were in them. So let's get these next two and go from there.
100%. All right, fans, check out jetsxfactor.com. Subscribe with discount code 80 to get your subscription with a discount and your free autographed 8x10 Wayne Corbett photo. And of course, give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Until next week, when the Jets are 8-6 after a big Detroit win. Wayne, we'll catch you later.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.